Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to an early edition of the Missing Lynx post-game podcast live stream. I'm your host, Andrew Dukowitz, beat reporter for Zone Coverage. I covered the Lynx, women's Gophers basketball, and Minnesota Timberwolves for the site with credentials. And today we have Mitch Hansen, the founder of Hitting the Hardwood Network, checking in again. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well. Last time I joined you was a little bit of a more positive note, but no, I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
And I will warn people on Spotify, if you look in the description, Mitch has about 17 things after his name. Winsidr, Canis Hoopus, women's basketball extraordinaire, founder of Hitting the Hardwood. We're also going to be joined at some point in the very near future by Terry Horstman from the 9. Used to be the Next. It sounds like they're doing a rebrand and it's the 9, but he'll be joining us soon. While people are jumping in here, let's do a quick ad read though. Well, hello. Thank you, Livestream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Lynx podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. So, Mitch, I don't know how much we'll go into just the Fever beating the Lynx, 83-72. Yeah, I mean, I don't like calling out players' effort. I say that pretty frequently, that that's not for me to say. I don't know if somebody's truly working hard or not. But Jessica Shepard can certainly call out players' efforts. And she was pretty poignant on just saying, tonight was inexcusable. People weren't doing the hustle things. No one was really doing any of the effort-related plays. Cheryl echoed that. It was a relatively, boring post game, I guess what you'd expect for a 1 seed that has a locked up playoff spot that didn't show up to play basketball. But Mitch, what was kind of your takeaway from the game?
Yeah, it just looked like a team that's ready for playoffs. And obviously Nafisa Collier being out, that makes a huge difference. You could even throw in Dejanay Carrington with that, or in that same conversation. But I mean, it looked like just a team that's ready to be done. They're ready to turn the page and start the postseason. And I mean, that's kind of the downside of kind of wrapping things up as early as they did. Is it's kind of a hurry up and wait thing now, and that's not an excuse. They still, there's no excuse for that. But they'll be all right. But it was one of those games where it reminded me, I almost texted this to you guys because we were texting during the game, that it almost reminded me of the game after the Lynx won the Commissioner's Cup.
Yeah.
Kind of the hangover game. It reminded me a lot of that, but it's not a similar situation.
In Dallas.
Yeah. But it's just one of those games that right away you just felt like it was the Lynx just weren't right. And it got away in a hurry and they weren't able to really do anything, and they just kind of looked tired and kind of out of it. But how about you? What are your overall thoughts? To me, it was disappointing overall.
I think it's disappointing for fans more so than anything, because if you're a Lynx fan, you're clicking on the game on a Tuesday night to be entertained and to watch your favorite team take care of the Fever. And I mean, like you said, really from the jump, it just kind of seemed off. And really honestly, almost the entire month of August and all of September so far, they've kind of had this, when they lose a game, the first thing out of the players and Cheryl's mouth is just like, we didn't come to play tonight. But to your point, that's maybe the one downside of building such a lead, that these games just don't matter. And you could tell this game mattered to the Fever tonight. They win this game. They give themselves a chance at the 6 seed. Doesn't necessarily guarantee anything, but it's a chance. There's a lot of Fever players that are former Lynx that I think that stuff matters when you want to kind of stick it to your former team. And they obviously wanted it like significantly more than the Lynx. I think if you're looking at it from a macro level, no Fee, no Carrington, K-Mac didn't look like normal K-Mac. Alana Smith seemed like she barely played. I mean, I don't even know how many times the announcers called her name. She was just kind of not very impactful. And then out of the bench unit, you saw a lot of feistiness. I mean, Jalen Sherrod was playing at 1,000 miles an hour. Masha had a post-game podium tonight where I believe her only quote was, "I like playing with Jess," which fair, can't argue with that. And Jess had another just awesome game. I mean, Jess seems to hate losing almost as much as Cheryl Reeve does. I guess unless there's any like chat questions that want to talk about the game more, I'm kind of thinking we just move past and kind of look at, obviously they have the season finale fan appreciation night. I believe there's going to be pink wigs everywhere on Thursday, but it's starting to look like Seattle is going to be that first round matchup.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at the scores right now. I mean, basically if Seattle wins or LA loses, Seattle gets that spot. I mean, LA is playing Phoenix, so they have a tough matchup. People who are listening to the podcast already know the outcome because the games have been over already. But for the sake of the live stream, it does look like it'll be Seattle, and that that matchup is actually pretty intriguing because Seattle is, I mean, the Lynx, or Seattle is one of the teams that the Lynx have lost multiple games to. So that's no walk in the park. That'll easy matchup, but it does look like it'll be Seattle, and I think either way, if it was LA or Seattle, obviously LA would be maybe preferred just for kind of their inconsistencies maybe, but you could argue the same with Seattle as well. But that matchup it'll be feisty. If it is Seattle, Minnesota, it'll be a feisty matchup. And then also not putting, the cart before the horse, but not looking too far ahead either at the semifinals. But let's say Minnesota reaches, the semifinals, which I believe they will, and they should. You have, a New York Phoenix potential matchup because they're going to be, facing off in the first round. So that's no easy task either. And, it's a tough, 3 teams that are on the same side as Minnesota that they're going to have to try and go through, or all 2 of the teams. But it's kind of a tough draw, but at the same time, it's the postseason. You're playing the top 8 teams. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, even if they're playing LA in the first round or Las Vegas in the first round. You still got to beat those teams, and you still got to take care of business, especially when you have home court advantage as well, which I think Minnesota will do.
And Terry Horstman live from a locker room somewhere in Indiana. They do have internet down there, I hear.
I learned something new every day. I did not think they had Wi-Fi in Indiana.
And it's
Terry, I'm gonna give you Nate Pence's question here in the chat. Do we put much stock into this game?
If by we you're asking me,
yes.
No, I'd put none into it. I mean, you got to put some stock into every game. And even, I don't know if you guys tuned into the post game, I tried to, go into a question kindly, and Jessica Shepard was having none of it. It was like, absolutely not. This was unacceptable. When you put this jersey on, you don't have that as an excuse. So I think it's important that the Lynx take stock in this game, and that stock is never again. Definitely not in 2025, because they're going to start meaning a whole hell of a lot soon. But yeah, I'm not worried. I think these last, 2 games, whatever, basically since Nay's injury, you just wanted to get into them and get out of them without any additional injury numbers. That's, the number that I'm looking at the most. And they did that tonight, and the effort sucked. It wasn't fun to watch. I don't think any of you guys had a good time. I'm sure. I know there was a watch party at the Black Heart of St. Paul, one of my favorite establishments in town, and I'm sure they had fun, but not because of the game. So, yeah, I'd say be mad about it, be pissed about it. The players certainly will, but I think you can turn a leaf pretty quickly tomorrow morning, and hopefully they get a positive result on Thursday.
And Tay just asks here, are we concerned if the Lynx can turn on their good basketball brand on Sunday? I mean, my opinion is I'm not too concerned about it. I think this team has, I wouldn't be surprised if they have like a rough first quarter or something like that, where it's just trying to kick some rust off. But I mean, we saw Fee last year in the postseason score more points than minutes through 2 rounds of the playoffs. I wouldn't really expect them to not get locked in. Do either of you guys have anything else to add to that?
I would just say that I think their effort will be better on Sunday, just because knowing Cheryl and just kind of the bounce. It doesn't happen twice, and it will not happen twice. No matter who's on the court, I expect the effort to be a little bit better. But with that said, we'll see who's on the court and how much they're playing. Just because, there's nothing to play for in this game. But
exactly. And I mean, we were talking about Seattle before you hopped on with us, Terry. And Mitch, what I would just add to your kind of assessment is, out of all the teams, Seattle did win 2 against the Lynx. I think Seattle is, their size gives the Lynx some problems just with, Malunga, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I mean, she's a monster. The thing I look for, though, is in a 3-game series, for Seattle to win it, like, let's just say they win their home game. The other game, like, something has to go either catastrophically wrong for the Lynx, like tonight, where they go 2 for 20 from 3, or the opposing team needs to just have a 3-point variance that kind of that is like an outlier. That's so much better than like what the Lynx can do, forcing turnovers defensively, interior defensively. And I mean, Seattle, I pulled it up. They're 7th in the league in 3-point percentage. They got to scroll down a long way, 9th in 3-point attempts. Their offense is pretty just stagnant. I think out of all the teams that were out there, like, Seattle's probably the one I think the Lynx could take care of the easiest, I guess, just because I don't know how they're going to get, 2 games of kind of, again, like, normally it's all right. You win your home game, you're feeling yourself, and then you have something that just goes off the rails. And I just don't know what they could do to make it go off. They've already have the Skylar Diggins heat check game. Terry, what are your thoughts?
Seattle scares me the most of any potential first round matchup. But I wouldn't say that means I'm scared a lot or would be scared a lot. But I think they are probably the most unique matchup in terms of what they can throw at you. And Sky can just turn into a monster at any time. So I think she could do it again. I think hopefully because they hit the Lynx in the mouth like that in the regular season, that, like Mitchell said, it doesn't happen twice. I was kind of, go earlier today or yesterday, it became official that Indy could only be the 6 or the 7 and couldn't be the 8. And I was kind of, before that, hoping that Indy would be the matchup. Now, seeing the way that these, reserves have started playing, I don't know that anyone should want Indy in a matchup like this. And especially just the crowd tonight too, you guys, like, Indiana's about to play its first home game in 9 years, and first home playoff game in 9 years. And
are you going back for that? Can we ask that? Are you going to be going back to Indiana?
I'm just the ambassador of Minneapolis and
Indiana, Atlanta, or whatever it is.
Hey, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. And
I just look at Indiana and
like what JPEG just said. Seattle has a better record on the road than they do at home. Seattle's weird, and that weirdness can get you. And it's it's vets on that team. Like, you're not going up against a team that got the 8 seed because they're inexperienced and did, dumb shit for half the season. They're very experienced, and at times they were doing crazy shit, and it went sour sometimes, but other times it went great. And I would take the Lynx in any matchup in these playoffs, but Seattle's the team that I think has played the best basketball against the Lynx in all 4 of those games. And yeah, they just can throw the most, the lineup variance is a weapon that they have that other teams don't.
Well, and the other thing too that I kind of look at is when the last time we saw these two teams play, what happened? Seattle danced off the floor, literally. Yeah. And one way that you can obviously beat teams that are better than you is getting under their skin. And Seattle does a great job of getting under your skin, kind of taking you out of your groove and kind of throwing a wrench into things. Right. Now, it is a 3-game series, so it usually works itself out. If it
3
was
more games
their best of 3, yeah. But
the neutrals should want Lynx Storm, because it will not feel like a first-round matchup, or it will not feel like a 1-8 matchup.
Right.
I guess what I would say is I think I would prefer Valkyries. Like, if it could happen, it would be Valkyries, because they just talent-wise, I don't think have the same top level. But, like, Indiana scares me. They shoot a ton of threes. Kelsey Mitchell can just have a game where she goes off and they steal it, and then they can shoot 60% from 3 and your season's over. Mm-hmm. I mean, Atlanta, Phoenix, New York all shoot a ton of threes, have size. Like, Seattle, it's just like I think the series will probably go 3. I don't think they're going to sweep them, but it's just really hard for me to see Seattle having one of those like outlier variable games against a locked-in Lynx team that forces it. Mm-hmm. Let alone having 2 of them, where it's like Atlanta, okay, Brittany Griner scores 30 for some reason, all on offensive rebounds, and then the next game they shoot 55% from 3. Phoenix can kind of do the same.
Would it be, if Seattle loses tonight, they're 22-22. The Sparks are playing Phoenix right now. They're down by a point. If the Sparks win these next 2 games and Seattle loses tonight, are the Sparks the 8?
No, yes. Yep. And then Seattle misses out because they're LA has 2 games left and Seattle has, this is their last one.
Right. I mean, I think if you're picking, it's always a dangerous conversation to be like, oh, I want that team more than any other team, but we can't help ourselves in year of our Lord 2025.
That is true. We are in the year of hot takes.
I think the Sparks would be fun and interesting, also because we haven't played them in like 19 years. That's how Andrew had such a long beard the last time the Lynx played the Sparks, and now it's completely gone.
Clean shaven.
I hope, Mitchell, you mentioned the lack thereof of Andrew's facial hair before I got here, because right when I got it, I didn't say it. When I was backstage, I was like, "What? Who is this? Who is this boy?
Who is this strapping young man hosting a podcast?
Young man with just like spirit and energy in his eyes."
I don't think either of you have ever seen me without a beard. And Terry, I've known you for almost 2 years now.
Yeah, you've never seen me without a beard, and you never will. That's the one rule my wife has.
Me too.
I'm not allowed to shave ever in my life.
I have that also, same rule, but maybe like once every 2 or 3 years, I just shave it down to a straight mustache, and then just walk out of the bathroom like nothing happened. And wait.
You've been married longer,
like,
so you've earned that. I've got like 37 years to go to be married.
Yeah, we've been married for a decade now. Like every once in a while, you can come out of the bathroom with a mustache, make your wife almost vomit, and then have to shave it off. It's worth it for the joke.
Yeah, she would maybe be okay with the mustache. It's like the inverse of the New York Yankees rule. Like, it has to be a beard or a mustache. It can't be clean shaven.
My wife is very much the same.
Right. Well, there'll be some fun scoreboard watching tonight then, Lynx fans. I hope you're, if you want to wash that taste out of your mouth that's lingering from a game that somehow ended up an 11-point difference.
I thought they were going to win it.
This is sweet, dude. This is like people complain about the WNBA schedule all the time, all the time. I'm not going to say this like I'm throwing the league. I'm not going to say this like I'm throwing the league a bone, but it is awesome to have, these West Coast games late in the season at the exact same time. Mm-hmm. And, tomorrow or on Thursday night, we've got 3 games with, meaningful basketball being played, all starting at the same time. Obviously, if the league could have it their way, there'd be a little bit more close races so that we wouldn't have the 1 seed completely locked up for 2 weeks. But shout out to the league for this week alone of scheduling. It felt like, like last day of Premier League is always fun with all the teams, playing at the exact same time. The soccer nerd in me loves that. So this is I'll be interested to see what happens the rest of tonight. We might know soon exactly who the Lynx are going to be playing, which will be great for maybe getting a flight out to we know what coast it is anyway. Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles. I'm like, come on, Delta,
fly out to Oregon and just start driving south and hope that
Yeah, why not?
It works out. Right. I'm going to throw us to a quick ad read here quick. When we come back, I have one weird stat I want to throw at you guys quick, just to get your ideas on it.
We love weird stats.
And then I do want to ask Terry if he is going to disclose all of his end of the year award voting.
Is this ad read for some shaving company, by the way?
No, it is not for what is that one? Manscaped. Manscaped. Yeah. If you're listening, I will happily read about your hedge trimmers.
Dollar Shave Club.
And we're back with another ad read. This time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. Well, I was going to say, hopefully, and we're back with another ad read. This time for Pence Homes, the This is going to be the most least anticlimactic Nate Pence ad read ever.
Is watching,
and we're back with another
Nate
ad
Pence,
read.
who is in
this
the
time
chat,
for Pence Home, is watching his ad read, not just cut off the .com, but cut off.
Oh my god!
Shout out Nate Pence.
Just keep clicking on
and we're back with another
hoping
ad read.
that it works.
This time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor.
And if not, I'll throw it in post. Let's move on though. So I was just kind of looking at random plus minuses, and the Aces, out of all of the teams that have a positive plus minus, the Aces are 8th out of 8 teams with a plus minus for the 1.6.
Oh, average plus minus.
How wild is it? Just how wild has their season been, where they are probably going to be the 2 seed? And they are average plus minus 1.6, just kind of a middle of the road team. But Asia Wilson is putting on this absolute ridiculous run of 30-point games. Mitch, what is your thoughts, Ben?
They're one of the hardest teams to figure out because, early in the season, first half of the season, yes, I know things change, but first half of the season, they look like a team that's maybe a 6, 7, 8 seed. And, everybody's wondering, is this the end? Is it time to blow it up and all this stuff, which they kind of have to some extent. But now, they're a team that I don't think anybody really wants to face. They won 13 straight. They're beating Chicago. They're going to make it 14 straight. But I don't know. You look at
talk about a weird team.
I don't even know how to explain it. I'm even looking at the games that they played against the Lynx, and it's how do you figure them out? They beat the Lynx win by 50 plus points one game, and then Las Vegas comes back and looks like they're title contenders. And I don't know. They're just extremely streaky, but they've flipped a switch, and I think they're one of the most dangerous teams in the playoffs right now, or that will be in the playoffs once we get started. But Asia Wilson is playing unbelievable. that we can get into a conversation about MVP some other
Let's
time, because that would be a whole podcast.
Let's not.
But she, even 2-3 weeks ago, it wasn't as strong of a case as she has now. And that's a testament to just how good she's been. But it's she's leading the force, and the bright thing, or kind of the positive thing for them, Jewell Loyd has improved too down the stretch.
Oh, yeah.
Which has been huge, because you could tell she was slow to kind of get acclimated into things, and was just kind of feeling herself out within that rotation, within the flow of things. But having her kind of be confident and finally feel like she's fitting within this is huge. And that's, especially after losing Kelsey Plum and replacing her with Jewell Loyd. That's exactly what they need, and they have that right now, and they're finally clicking at the best possible time.
I think Jewell Loyd, the last time they were at Target Center, was like 0 for 11, and it was probably the worst Jewell Loyd game I've ever seen. That was from like an erratic shot chucking standpoint. Aces are also 6th in offense, 8th in defense, which is just, to your credit, Mitch, they're just weird. Terry, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Mitch that they're, I wouldn't put them at the top of the power rankings, but I would maybe put them at the top of the most dangerous right now list, which is maybe just a total cop-out for saying they should be number one in power rankings. Yeah, they are, playing lights out. They're playing comfortable, and, you could kind of... I've never seen a team do a heel turn like this from the wheels falling off completely. And I think the league deserves a Lynx Aces finals. And I would be total coin flip at that point. I would still give it to the Lynx based on home court advantage. And I think you do. You can't just, completely throw the games earlier in the season away. I mean, that first game where Fee got hurt and Asia wasn't playing and Diamond Miller went nuts. Like, you can't really... That game probably doesn't mean anything.
Seems like years ago.
The two next, and you even go back to last year, I believe the Lynx were 3-1 in the regular season against the Aces. And, there was the opposite. So the Lynx had a 6-game winning streak against the Aces going into this last loss. So... but yeah, it wouldn't be fun. It would be fun to go to Vegas in October. That's all I'll say there. And Asia is amazing.
She's making it really
Asia Wilson good at basketball.
Yeah.
This is what
Barry, the one thing I will warn you is, now that everyone knows you have a vote, if Asia wins it unanimously, like, you might be getting some heat on the streets here.
No one's gonna win anything unanimously, and I have not cast my ballot. I'm waiting for the last of the team PR gifts campaign to roll through. What a certain Twitter user referred to as bribes for the media. That the Dallas Wings are bribing media members with Hot Wheels cars is maybe the most indicative of where we are in 2025 of anything. But yeah, those things, they will not sway my vote at all, but I will be appreciative of it, and I will use it to, create content that promotes your team. And so, especially next spring, when I have my full Washington Mystics garden in bloom, I will be posting about the Mystics, because that gift was awesome. And we're going to plant all of those seeds except for Ivy, because my wife informed me that Ivy is evil. So I forget which player they named Ivy after. I think, who was it? I can't remember.
Are we talking like evil as in like if a dog eats it, they die, or evil as in like
No, I think it's like invasive. No, if it was witchcraft, we'd be planting it and doing rituals in our yard.
Harry, I do want your thoughts. I mean, the Aces, amongst all of this, the PR thank yous from voters, which I'll be honest, like if you getting a glass globe is what puts you over the edge to vote for Napheesa Collier, like that's very indicative of like you said, Terry, where we are as a society.
I preferred the Nafisa hot sauce from last year that I still
was
have
good.
in my fridge.
That was
good.
Yeah.
But the Aces came out, like the Aces, like official, I think Twitter, and they made like an official statement of like, we will not be sending anything to promote Asia World because we never.
Well, we got all the voters got official emails from them with like the campaign and the numbers and stuff, and the argument is good. From Nate Pence, Sparks don't play defense, which is nice. Yes, that is true.
Also, V Marie, really quick. Shout out to the bench players. Like, first quarter Kosu minutes was like the highlight of my season.
Right. Well, and of course, I mean, who didn't get butterflies in their stomach when Cameron Taylor hit a three? Just the second three of the game. Cam understood the assignment, but I think
first career basket, right?
Cheryl made sure to shout that out. Maybe some bulletin board material for the regular rotation players. But I don't know if they showed this on the TV at all. But like after the game was over, the players are filing out from like the scorers table all the way through the tunnel. Jalen Sherrod was shoulder to shoulder with Cheryl, like just like speaking with her hands, and they were going like they weren't like fighting or arguing or anything, but just like clearly talking ball. And I asked Coach Reeve about that afterwards, and she just talked about how much she appreciated the effort of them and Cam and Ola, Masha for sure, and Jess of course, but went out of her way to highlight the coachability of Jalen Sherrod. So as we're putting Easter eggs and filing things away for thinking about the future, if it's not here, it'll probably be somewhere where you see Jalen Sherrod working her way into a WNBA rotation, and being called coachable by the GOAT of coaching is pretty high praise.
Terry, do you support the idea of naming the Coach of the Year trophy Cheryl Reeve, and then just handing out a Cheryl Reeve at the end of every season?
Yes,
I love Cheryl Reeve.
I love the Reeves.
The Reeves.
Just name the whole award sequence after it, and then how great would it be if it was a full postseason like Oscars thing that Cheryl hosted?
I mean, I just like Mitch wrote about Cheryl a couple weeks ago, and I wrote about her today, or it came out today.
Wow.
And just like going through
it. Yes, I missed the memo on that one. Thanks, guys.
You have a vote. You don't have an agenda. I have the agenda of Cheryl deserves a Coach of the Year. This is ridiculous. She is the
she does. She does.
Coaching the best team, like analytically the best team in the history of the league, like compared to their peers of the same season.
Right.
Best team in history. Cheryl Reeves coaching it. She goes through 3 different Nafisa Collier injuries, a Kayla McBride not showing up for the beginning of the season, a mid-season trade, a season-ending injury to a rotation player, and then just like plucking Masha off of the streets of Russia and having her bomb threes. Like, this is a Coach of the Year performance, and I understand why.
And
not going to go to
Cheryl
because
when you mentioned
Golden State, Atlanta. But like, as I'm like sitting here, I'm just like, let's just name the award after her. So she doesn't have to win anymore, but then you can just every year recognize like, oh yeah, she is probably the best at this.
I think she's got a better chance than we think she does at it this year. But I would love it if they pass that in the offseason. Andrew, the Coach of the Year award has now been renamed the Cheryl Reeve Coach of the Year award. That would incentivize me to not vote for Cheryl for Coach of the Year award because it's funnier if Becky Hammond wins it and then it's like, Becky, here is the Cheryl Reeve Coach of the Year award.
It's just a
coaching just a picture of Cheryl and a t-shirt.
It's Cheryl riding a goat.
Yeah, with a jacket on.
With a leather jacket and a t-shirt
that she's starting to pull off to throw at the refs in anger as Jim Pete looks on in horror. This is a very expensive trophy, very detailed. I've only got a couple minutes left, so Andrew, what else do you got?
That is all I had. I think I got all of my snark out of the way. Mitch, do you have anything you want to add?
I was just gonna give an update on the Seattle Golden State game. Seattle has it's 32-30, high scoring game with 145 left in the first half. Golden State is
okay.
up.
First half.
Yes, first half.
Okay, so both teams are playing defense.
Yeah, or
they're all missing shots.
Yeah.
Or
I do want to give a shout out to Nate Pence and Pence Homes, pencehomes.com. Everybody go check out Nate Pence.
Delightful.
There's the ad read, Nate. I'm trying here.
Wonderful.
Nate, let me know how Blackheart was tonight.
The realtor of Sneaker Reporter, I've been told, in helping the Sneaker Reporter relocate to Minnesota. If that's not true, Nate Pence, just take it and run with it, because Travis isn't going to call you out on it. But that's what I've been told, at least.
Interesting
indeed.
So he gets the credit or the blame, depending on your relationship with Sneaker Reporter. Travis, I love you.
All right, guys. It's a pleasure as always. Terry, where can people find you? What do you have coming out?
I will have all kinds of fun playoff preview stuff coming to the next, which has been or will be renamed the Nine Basketball. But if you type in thenexthoops.com, it still gets you there. So same place as always. Follow me at Terry Horstman on Blue Sky. Follow me at Terry Horstman on Twitter for things that I occasionally put in there, and then sign out and throw Twitter in a box at the bottom of a lake before I check into it again. And at Terrence Horstman on Instagram. Trying to remember to put more Lynx stuff on Instagram, because people on Instagram are not people on Twitter generally, at least in behavior.
That's fair assessment. Is that why you're like soggy coming into shoot around sometimes?
Soggy?
Swimming to the bottom of the lake to get your Twitter account unlocked?
I was wondering where that was going.
Mitch, where can people find you? What have you been working on, man?
I'll have some playoff stuff coming up here too. I'm working with some guys at Canis Hoopus on doing a preview for playoffs. You can find also be doing the same thing at Winsidr, and then you can also obviously follow me on Blue Sky and on Twitter. I'm not as active on Instagram when it comes to basketball stuff. I keep that to my niece and nephew and family members.
They're adorable though.
A lot of people think they're my kids, so I
also thought they were your kids until literally.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of people.
So if you want to get vested in Mitchell's personal life,
you can come on over to Instagram. but yeah, you can follow me on all of those, and then obviously Hitting the Hardwood on Blue Sky and on Twitter. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/Hitting the Hardwood. We just got another patron that joined the other day. So we appreciate anybody that can support there. And you can get a lot of exclusive content, early access to stuff, and you get all of our work in one place, and you get it sent right to your inbox as well. So that's my sales pitch, and I hope you guys will all support all the great work that all three of us do here. So thank you guys for having me.
Of course. And I'm Andrew Dukowitz again from ZoneCoverage, ADukeMN on all socials. For all of the 304 people that have swung by this live stream, you guys are awesome for coming by. Honestly, a live stream after a dismal regular season loss. That's why Lynx fans are the best. You guys support no matter what. And we'll catch you all next time after the game on Thursday.
Perfect final comment, Dustin.